Hi, my love, and welcome to Yes to Life podcast, a podcast about soulful living and sacred feminine embodiment. It is a podcast about following our dreams, open up to our full potential, and saying yes to life. It is also a podcast about remembering the sacredness of the female body and the feminine essence. My name is Helena. I'm a mother of 6 beautiful children and a sacred, sensual and feminine embodiment guide. I help women in all stages of their lives to love, adore and understand their female bodies, to celebrate their feminine essence and to awakening their inner goddess. I'm the founder of Blissful Feminine Flow and the creatrix of programs like Yoni Flowering, Womb Bliss, Sacred Bleeding, Blissful Mama, Pleasure Queen, and Sacred Feminine Body Love. I have always been very open and sensitive and have a feeling that more is possible. Beside my deep love and curiosity for the female body and the feminine essence, which I got mostly from my own pregnancy, birth and motherhood, I am also very fascinated about people who have dared to walk their own path and follow their dreams and are showing us that more is possible. I can see the power of us coming together and have these deep conversations about the things that we care about. I can also see the gift of listening to these deep conversations. That's why I started this podcast. If this touches something deep within you, please stay tuned and let's get started with today's episode. So, my loves, welcome to another episode of Yes Life podcast. And today I am here with my beautiful guest, Emily. So, absolutely gorgeous woman that I have wanted to have here in my podcast for a while now, but it took me a while to send her the request, and now we are here, and I'm so happy. I love her and her sparkly and bubbly and pure and radiance. I love it. I love it. And I'm so excited to see where this conversation are going to lead us, because I know she has many things that she can share with us. And yes, I just want to say welcome, Emily.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. As I said, I have followed you for a while and I have listened to you. And for the women or people that don't know you, would you like to just say some words about who you are and what you do?
Yes, I would love to. So, my name is Emily Whiteside, of course. And saying what I do is always like the hardest for me because I'm like, oh, how do you put into words? And I'm sure like you resonate with that too, where it's just like, what do I do specifically? But I think essentially what I do is reconnect women back to their radiance, back to their pleasure. And from that space, they build these incredible, authentic dream lives, whether that's thriving in business or thriving in love or a combination of, everything. But I like to just imagine that I was put on this planet to be in my goddess energy and to spread that to other women. In whatever way they like need to hear it or whatever way that it moves through for them.
Yes. Yes, it's beautiful. And I think when we're going to have this conversation, I think more of it going to reveal itself for the
Yeah.
listener. Yes. And before this recording, the last week, in the end of last week, I was listening to your, what do you call it? Was it a masterclass or was it?
Yeah, oh yeah, my I guess masterclass, the free
Yeah,
program. Yeah, soft
yeah,
success.
Yes, soft success. Just listen to this. It's so beautiful. And I was watching it, and when I had watched through the three parts, I had to go to the first one again. I want her voice. I want to listen more to her. So I just started over. And it was so interesting because the next time I heard totally different things. And it's so
Oh,
beautiful. It's
yeah, I love that.
it went deeper into me, and yes, it was different things that I heard. And what was so um, stood out about it was that you are walking your own way, your own path, I would say. I Because we are many women that are doing this work, and we are have this gift that we want to share. But it felt so beautiful to feel that you are just walking your own path, and it was so it gave me the allowance to also do that, because it's noisy out there. I think you said something about that too, but I have felt that too. It's noisy and it's much energy and much information, and I think also we have much that wants to come through us. And it
Mhm.
was so beautiful to hear your explanation, or your maybe it's just your energy, but it gave that feeling of allowance to be unique and to do it the way that we feel that it's meant to be.
Oh, you said that so, so well. Like, and thank you. Thank you for seeing me and thank you for that compliment. I received that. But I think you're so on to it there where there is so much noise in whatever zone of genius we're meant to be in. Like, if you are somebody who is so passionate about fitness, or you're somebody who's so passionate about making an impact and having a business that creates freedom and, just like luxury for you, there is so much noise out there telling you what you should be doing and how you should be doing it and what strategies are going to get you there, that we can lose the whole reason why we started this. And I found myself like, building this dream business and building this dream life and like kind of getting lost in that noise and starting to listen to what people were saying I should do or I had to do. And it, although I was like following the rules, it felt like I couldn't just be me in my work anymore. And it was like such a divine intervention when it was like, my way is going to be so different than the way that I see TikTok stars talk about business, or the way that I see people running Facebook ads or Instagram ads click you into like some link, some program somewhere. Like, my way is not that way. And it doesn't mean that way is even wrong. It just means that it's not mine. But I think every time we stop trusting ourselves because we think somebody else has an answer that's going to get us there faster, or a secret strategy, I think we lose ourselves in it. And it doesn't mean we can't explore those things. It just means that we're not meant to be that fully. We might be meant to like extract something from her and extract something from her, but like, in your heart and in your soul what you actually want. And something I always say is that your inner goddess, like your soul, your inner goddess, your divine feminine, has all of the answers. If you want to make, she will help you make more money than you can even imagine possible. She will help you pay that huge tax bill that you're like, I have no idea how I'm going to pay this tax bill. She will help you get into the absolute best, sexiest shape of your life, like loving your body, loving who you are. She will help you meet the person of your dreams, but it's not going to be in the way that you think it is. It's going to be in some wild, crazy adventure where you're like, there's no possible way that I'm going to do this. And then this is going to help me build a business. Like I remember one of those things for me was I decided that I wanted to expand my power and expand my business. And when I listened to my inner goddess and I let go of all the rules, and it was like, travel the world by yourself, heal your codependency, go start staying in five-star hotels, go start immersing yourself into high-level mentorship. And none of it made sense because it wasn't a strategy or a how-to. But those who I got to become that year and every year after that helped me become the woman behind everything that I've built. So, long story to say, soft success and what I talked about on that master class was all about just coming back to you and coming back into those places that we've often silenced because we've told ourselves it's not enough. Or I hear a lot from myself and from other women that are like me that like we're too quiet or we're too soft to be successful. Because when you think of success, you think of really like being loud, essentially. And for me, it's like I take my time. I'm slow with a lot of things. I really feel the energy. I don't have the perfect words to say. I don't have a big team that creates funnels and stuff for me. I just speak from like who I am and where I am, right? And we can still be successful in this way. And I think truly that's the only way to find success or to find love is to be like our most authentic version of us because that's where we attract the right people.
Yes. And it was so nurturing and freeing to hear you say that in the masterclass too. And now when I listen to you, it's that because I think sometimes we get stuck in this hard work and I say I don't think we can feel the feeling of success in that. Even if it looks like success, I don't think we feel it. And works with so many women too, and that mostly with the body and the fertility and the um, yes, the yoni and the sensuality and so on. And I can see that so much gets stuck in the body when we are trying to do it that hard and rough way. And even if I knew many of these things, it was something else to hear you talk about it because you're embodying it so much and so uh, you said loud, and it's a different kind of loudness, to loud in the softest sense. It's an
Yes.
energy and it's a vibration that is loud and juicy and alive, but it doesn't, uh, it's other um, loudness of hard work and I think we it's so unusual in the world.
Mhm.
So maybe it's a little bit scary to go there. And we have to remember us to be there over and over again, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It, like you said, it's coming back in over and over again. And even I get lost, can get lost in the noise. And luckily, like you get to a place where you just know you're getting lost in the noise. So you can like gently guide yourself back. But I have definitely been in moments during my career and since finding this like work of the feminine where I got so lost in the hard work and in the masculine and in the doing and the proving only to just burn out, right? And hit like a quote unquote rock bottom. And now it's like we know those feelings in our bodies, so we don't have to go all the way there, right? We can when we drop a little bit, we're like, "Ooh, I'm really in my head or I'm really out of alignment right now." And we can come soften back in and silence everything around us.
Mm.
But it's not always, it sounds like really juicy, but it's not always like the fun work, right? Some of the sexiest work is actually like the hardest work. And um, it brings you back to that like sexy, alive frequency, but it doesn't always feel like it when you're in it.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think we have to, yes, remind ourselves, but also that is what you do with your clients and with your content and what you are sharing is to remind us that it's something that we have to be aware of. And of course, when we are committed to it, it's easier because we see it and we hear it. And what I was thinking about was so beautiful to hear when I listened to you, what that you are sharing also the periods or the parts of life that maybe it hasn't been so easy and so soft and successful that we have to go through these parts too. And I think we forgot that sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not. I always used to think that like just wasn't gonna be a storm anymore, you know? I think like you think in your mind like when I get to that place of soul remembering or I get to that place of like my divine feminine or an amount of success that I no longer have to walk through the storms or that the storm's gonna be like so easy. It's not. Like you will continue to walk through the storms. It's life. It's the part of us that like makes us human. And so I think one of the biggest parts of my journey has been knowing that the storms won't stop coming, but I don't have to fear them anymore, right? And I don't have to like be afraid to get bigger or expand my energy because there's going to be some lesson or some storm I'm going to have to go through. It used to feel like that a lot. So I would hide or I would shrink myself. But now it just feels like my bigness and my power and my aliveness, like regardless if we stay stuck and we stay dimmed or we stay big and we keep expanding, we're going to go through storms regardless because it's life. And it just allowed me to like walk through it no matter what. And I think that like be unstoppable, be unshakable. I think those are the things that have really like those words have really allowed me to grow because it's like even when it's not perfect, even when this is testing every ounce of me, I can still hold my power and I can still believe that I'm worthy and I can still believe that I'm meant to do this work or meant to be. I think I see that a lot with like women with love, right? It's like when we have been hurt before, it's like, oh, we don't even want it anymore. We close off our heart. And that's not a way to live. But nobody can guarantee you're never going to be hurt again. There's even the person you that is the person of your dreams will trigger you and will hurt you. Hopefully not on purpose, but it's going to happen, right? But we get to soften and like learn from that instead of closing ourselves off to like the fear of what could possibly go wrong if we do lean in to the pleasure and if we do lean into the love.
Yes. Yes, so true. And also sometimes we are more afraid of other people's judgments. I can feel for me, that's even if I'm sure of myself or I can love myself or see what I can feel sure about, this is what I'm going to share. And thinking that I can do that with and being sure that no one is going to judge me. That's an illusion.
Yeah,
Because
right.
of course there's going to be someone out there that not agree with everything I see. And
Mhm.
I was speaking to my husband or my man a few days ago, and I had a masterclass, and then I said,
I feel like there was something that I didn't say. So he said, "So what was you going to say?" I don't know, but it feels like there was something I was doing wrong. And when I think about that, we can't we can never do it. It's perfect.
Right,
That
right. I so agree with that. There's so many times when I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have added that and added that and added that. And it's like, no, it was supposed, whatever was meant to come through during that conversation or during that time in our life or during that decision came through and it came through for a reason. And that's enough. That's
yes,
enough.
yes. Maybe that was what they needed to hear. Maybe it
Mhm.
wasn't what I was thinking that I was going to say, but sometimes uh, the people that are listening had to hear something. So, and I had your voice back there in my head. Just be more free to be free.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. It's so nice when we just start just, gosh, everything I've put in programs, I honestly is never usually the thing that I put in programs that I think is going to be in there. Like soft success was not going to be what, but the words just like came out of my mouth. And like every time I lead something or even just have a conversation with somebody, it's like, I'm just going to let what comes through come through and know that that wasn't just me. That was like me and God making magic and this other person or and all the people in the room creating magic together and like the energy of the people in the room and me and like what's meant to come through does and it creates such a special like vortex for healing and for liberation. So that's something that like a business course can't teach us, right?
Yeah. I
Feeling
think,
that meaning.
yeah. And I think that was what I loved so much about it because I've listened to other business coaches too. And every time it's like my whole body gets frozen and I can't create anymore. And then when I forgot what they have said, I can start to create again. And I
I
think that
totally get that.
the feminine is meant to be free and not so, yes. So,
Structured.
yes, because it
I
can stop us.
Yes, yes, I totally agree with that. I every time I've gone into spaces like needing to like explain, essentially like for a lot of feminine leaders like us, like women who work with healing and we work with the feminine and emotion, that cannot possibly be put into tangibles. Like it's the most confusing thing ever because it's like I can't put a strategy like something that's supposed to be strategy based, like most businesses are strategy based, right? They're very masculine. You do X, Y, and Z and you produce X, Y, and Z. But for something that is like feminine embodied in its art, and then we try to like take that beauty and put it into like a masculine business strategy, it just it you get so in your head and you start creating with your head and you stop creating with your sacral. You stop creating with your heart. And that's where I think a lot of like feminine leaders don't expand in their power and don't grow because we believe that in order to grow, we have to be more masculine or we have to be more loud or we have to say tangibles and we stop leading with our frequency and we start leading with our head and logic. And that's when we start feeling disconnected. And I've been there. We start feeling disconnected. We start feeling what's even the point? Now nobody's even understanding our work because it's like this work isn't for the masculine people anyway. And then yeah, it just gets so confusing, right? And so my best advice if you're in that energy, which I've been so many times, is like soften. Stop trying to explain things. Stop trying to prove things. Stop trying to put things into tangibles and just lead with your energy. And it's
Mm.
not, your business coach is not going to agree with it. But I truly believe, and I've worked with many business coaches and I've extracted many great things, but it's never, business coaches have never had the like end all be all for me. They've never had the answer for me. So it's just like we have to listen to our heart and sacral, and somebody that can like drop you into that instead of bringing you in your head, like that is the magic, right? Like when we can be in spaces where we can drop out of our heads and into our bodies. And some of my best business coaches have not been business coaches at all. They've been like my spiritual, like healers that have not even said anything and they're just moving energy. And I'm like, wow, I understand so much now. Or it's been like my pleasure coaches that have nothing to do with business. Like it's always the people that like get me and see me and we vibe at the same frequency. Like that's where I make my most magic from because I'm not trying to convince or prove or anything like that.
Yes. Yes,
Mm.
it is beautiful to see and watch also your life that is resonating so what I'm going to say, so beautiful with that, and can see and feel that vibe and that energy. And I think you said something about that too, that even if we don't want to live your life, we can feel how we want to live the life. What is freedom? I think you said that. What is freedom for you, and what is success for me and for everybody who is listening? And I love that you are speaking about it in that expansive way.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm.
And the beautiful thing about like the success that we create and however we internalize success is what we're going to start seeing in our physical reality. So if for you, like you internalize success as this need to keep a bunch of followers and be viral all the time, you will start to see that, but you might be really exhausted by that, right? It might not be like your true version of success. So when you find your true version of success, it's going to feel more alive. And for some of us, that might be like living in a city and like being in a penthouse, but for others it might be like the living in the country with your cowboy boots and like spending most of your days at home and like everybody's version of success is going to be different. It's like whatever fits with who you are in your essence. And then it also gets to change. And I've like noticed a lot with my success where like gosh, I have like really got to find myself with success. I started my business younger in my mid 20s, and I started from like literally nothing. I didn't know what I wanted, and I got to through this business like really find like I got to test everything. I got to live in the suburbs. I got to live in my country dream home on a farm. I got to live in the heart of a city with beautiful floor to ceiling windows. I get to I got to travel so much and like try on all these different clothes and designer and like and from that I got to extract like what's really me. And certain versions were really me, and now that I'm like growing and evolving and getting like older, some of it I'm like, I don't know that I like living in the city so much anymore. It's really loud and it's kind of annoying for my like old soul that wants to go to bed at 9 o'clock at night. So I find these pieces to then like create more depth of what success means. And I think that that's the most beautiful thing is remembering that what success means in the beginning is not what success is going to mean later stages in life. And we get to adapt and we get to shift and we get to evolve. I mean, at one time, I thought success was having like a team of like 50 people. And I was like, well, that's when I'm going to be successful. When I have a team of so many people and I'm like, I have a brick and mortar place. And that's not what I ever wanted. And I have a team of like, or well, not one anymore, but like it used to be like a team of like 1 to 4 or 5 people and anywhere in between that. And like that feels really soft and really good for me. And who knows, maybe that changes later on, but that's what feels good now.
Yes. And allow that to be what is right in the moment and in the right time. Yes, and that was something also that was touching me when you were speaking about that you don't have to have X amount of followers or um, so much people that want to buy, because sometimes that also have been something that I have started to judge myself for. But
Mhm.
when you get these messages from the people that love your work, then everything that goes away. But sometimes for me, I got stuck in that it has to look a certain way, as you said. And when you were
Mhm.
talking about it, it was such a relief. Just, okay, because I don't mind, I don't bother about it, but I think, how would other people see me?
Mhm.
Success something
Exactly.
coming from inside of me and had nothing to do with other people, because that's also different from people to people.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the funniest thing because the mentors that I have worked with for years and years, like in the highest level capacities, not like $100 programs here and there, but the people I'm like fully committed to, a year after year, I'm paying them tens of thousands of dollars. And they're not the people with the huge following. They're not the people with the virality. They're not the people that make the most money ever and have like formed like huge power. It's like just the people I resonate with. It's the people I just feel seen by. It's the people that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like her too. And there's nothing more freeing to me than when I hear somebody who's like really successful and like living their life and not even like, yes, financial success, but not like, doesn't matter the number to me. It's just like, are they living their dream life? Are they like showing us what's possible? Like the people that are like, oh yeah, I make $1 million or I've made multi-millions. And then I go to their Instagram page and they're like, they have like 800 followers. And I'm like, this is so cool because
Yes.
it just shows you like you don't have to find we think that we have to find success like I'm gonna make the money and now or I've decided I want to be like a millionaire or a multiple six-figure business owner whatever that a multimillionaire whatever that goal is and then we get to our head and we're like okay well that means I need more followers I need more people to like my stuff and I need everybody to understand me and the people who are the most successful are the people who don't really care about that. And that is some people's path to like grow their following and like it was just never mine. And if that stuff doesn't turn you on, it's not forget about it. Like that's not your path. Instead, the people that are the most successful, they're just themselves. They're not putting on a performance. They're not trying to say the perfect thing so they can have a bunch of followers agree with them. They're just being them and they're showing up in their gifts. And if we can trust that like our gifts and showing up in our gifts is enough, that can easily build to so much success because you're not trying to be anybody else. You're not trying to prove it. You're not trying to keep up with it. like I think a lot of people, I can't like, how do you hold this? I can't hold this all. And it's like, I have nothing to hold when I'm just being me.
Oh,
It's just
exactly.
you, right? It's just being you. Could you imagine being in like a romantic relationship where you had to be perfect and you had to like always look your best? You had to always speak eloquently. You couldn't, like, what about the times when you're sick? What about the days when you're on your period and all you want to do is eat chocolate and you want to be a brat? Like, it, the person who's meant for us is going to love us through all of those times in our lives, right? And it's never the requirement to be perfect. It's just the requirement to be ourselves and be ourselves healing our wounds, right?
Yes. Oh, I totally agree. And I can feel that when I can speak for myself, when I am creating, I don't think about these things. It's afterwards, as I said, maybe afterwards and in the periods or the time when I start to think about and then go up in the head. But when I'm in the flow of creation and when I'm with the client or creating a course or something, I don't think about these things. And that then, of course, it's much more alive and it's much more nourishing for us too when we don't think about it and
Yeah.
just allow it to flow and to be free in the creation.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And that's like the greatest gift of all is we built, we're on this journey, whether you have a business or not, we're on this journey to feel good and to like create a life that we are lit up by and a love that we're lit up by. So might as well just be ourselves. Might as well just listen to our inner goddess that maybe does push us way outside of our comfort zone, but like in that we get turned on and we get lit up and we feel like the most expressed version of us. There's no other choice. Being somebody else is just going to create more resistance and more chaos for us in the long run.
Yes. And you have said your inner goddess or your goddess several times. And I also love to use this word and this energy that is our inner goddess. It's not an outside goddess, just that
Yes.
part of us that is this feminine essence. And also, I think when we are connecting with her, she's not competing with others and she don't judge us.
Yeah.
What is your experience about that with
Oh,
them?
that is so true. Like with the, I think it's such a wound of the feminine where we're told and taught that we should compete with other people, right? Especially other women. And like we have to be the best, or and it's never, when we're in our feminine, it's like we all have a seat at this table and nobody's power is taking away from our power. I remember sitting in a, I was sitting at a table with like my friends and I had this like epiphany. And I don't know why I had it or like what triggered the like aha moment, but I'm sitting at this table with a bunch of my friends and they're all beautiful and they're successful and they're entrepreneurs or like they have high, they're really succeeding in life with high positions in life, but they're also like leading their dream life too. Like they are traveling a lot. They're doing the things that they want to do. They're breaking up with their boyfriends. They're like going after it. And I'm sitting at this table and I'm like, no one's celebration and no one's power is taking away from me at all. It's making the conversation so good. And I felt so grateful to be at that table having these conversations. And of course I always feel that way about people, but I never let that be for me. Like I was always afraid that if I'm too much, I'm gonna take away from people. If I'm too successful, nobody's going to understand me. If I'm too radiant and magnetic, people are going to get insecure, because that had been the truth when I was younger. I think we can all imagine being in high school with all of our little girl wounds running rampant, right? And like, oh my gosh, if somebody's like crush talked to me and not to them, it was like the end of the world. And I was the issue. I was the problem, or so and so was. So it's really, really beautiful when you really tap into your inner goddess. You know that you've tapped into your inner goddess because you feel unstoppable, but you don't feel better than anybody. You don't feel like you're taking away from anybody. You just exist in your own world, and it feels magnetic and beautiful, and every person that comes in is like you're giving to and they're giving to you, and it's just this beautiful exchange, and nobody's trying to compete with one another. But I've been in rooms for sure, especially in women with business, where I could sense the ego and I could sense the competition and I could sense the fakeness and inauthenticity. And you can feel that in your body. You can feel like this just isn't the right room. So we excuse ourselves from that room, and then we go find our room full of, soul-centered feminine entrepreneurs. And there's always room at that table for us. There's not cattiness or competition, and it's beautiful. It allows you, I think the best thing with feminine energy and like really bringing that out in you is that you heal so much of that distrust with other women. Like I've heard a lot growing up, and still to this day, some conversations will be in my like sphere, and I'll hear women say, like, I just don't trust other women. Like, I trust my boyfriend, I just don't trust the other women. And I'm like, maybe we should look at that a little bit, right? It's like not trusting other women, like that's a wound that we were taught to be, right? We were taught to like separate ourselves from other women because we're powerful in groups. So I think that that is the greatest gift of feminine energy, has been my connection and seeing other women in their power the more that I'm in my feminine energy. And it's just like, oh, it's so life-giving.
Yes. Oh, so beautiful. And I also agree with that. That is just, it feels like a click or something when you feel that, oh, I'm in my feminine energy. And for me, it's when I have overworked, or I have well, been in an energy of doing too much and not
Mm-hmm.
sitting and doing my practice that I know that I need to do or to be in. Maybe I do things, but I have to be in a certain frequency or an energy. And I feel when I come to a point where this connection happened, I start to judge myself, and am much more available for the thoughts that other people are judging me. And as you said, when I'm in the goddess energy, nothing bothers me. I don't judge myself, and I don't bother if what other people thinks. And I was listening to John Gray, who wrote um, Women from Men from Mars and
Oh,
Women
yes, and
from
women
Venus.
are from Venus.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have listened to him so much, and he was saying that the hormones of a woman, that when we go too much into our testosterone, then we start to another part of our brain lights up, and we start to be more critical, and yes, our worldview changed. And I could see that in my own life, that if I don't take care of myself as a woman, if I don't do these practices, if I don't be in 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 the energy that allow my inner goddess to bloom and to nourish, then I start to judge myself, not so much other people, but myself. And so I'm so maybe how I have done this is to start to work with it, because then I have to be aware of it all the time when I
Yeah.
work with other people. I think you was talking about pleasure too. I don't know if it was in this masterclass, or if it, I have heard you talk about pleasure. And how important do you think that is for us as women?
Oh my gosh, it is like our life force.
Yes.
And it's something that we have been so, like, pleasure is something we've been so cut off with because we've been taught by, like, whether it was like taught religiously or it was taught by society, like everybody has their own experience, but we have been taught that pleasure is forbidden or that it's greedy or we have to work really hard to experience pleasure. And pleasure often becomes this like thing we do for an instant hit of relief from a very desolate life. And so often, people mistake that pleasure is like that binging on the chocolate because you've deprived yourself of chocolate. And so it's bad. Or if you've deprived yourself sexually, it's like having that affair. And that's how you get that hit of endorphins, that pleasure. And then it's therefore bad. And what I've really learned to do is stop demonizing pleasure and instead like working with pleasure. Working with pleasure as like our birthright, as something that we get to be our state of being. Instead of our state of being for so many people, the state of being is like scarcity, not enough. And what pleasure work teaches us is that our state of being gets to be in that abundance. Like there is so much food, really good food around me. It doesn't mean that I have to go eat it all right now. Because when we're in a state of abundance, when we're living in pleasure, we just take what we need, right? We take what we want. And that's usually just like a piece of chocolate, not three chocolate cakes. And with money, it's like we've heard that like money is greedy, right? And wanting money is greedy and it's bad and it's selfish. But when we live in a state of abundance, we realize that money is just a tool. And like we can survive without it. We don't need it to exist, to breathe, but life is usually better with it and we can do more with it, right? Because when we're not living in scarcity, we're not greedy with money. When we're living in abundance, when we're living in our power, when we're living in our pleasure, money just becomes this resource that yes, we can live a delicious life. And like us living a delicious life, we get to bring others up to. We get to show them what's possible. We get to donate. We get to help more. We get to, send money to the person that our friend that needs extra love and support and care right now. I know that when I'm more resourced with money than times when I'm not resourced with money, I am so much more present. I am so much more caring. I am so much more with it for other people because there's not something holding me back. Like, ugh, there's not enough money and I have to be like working my butt off and like I can't go and do this thing for you because I'm so stressed. So, being in pleasure allows us to be more of us. It brings like our inner goddess essentially that's her life force energy. She thrives with it, right? And so what I have done in my work and also the work that I assume you do as well is like remind women that this pleasure is our power. It is so important. It's important that we see beauty around us. It's important that we're in healthy relationships. It's important that we're listening to ourselves. It's important that we're kind to ourselves, that we're doing the self-care, that we're journaling and feeling and all of that. And like also surrounding ourselves with beauty is so important. So, yeah, pleasure is such medicine and it can be the thing that changes your life. We are so taught that hard work and restriction changes your life. Talk to anybody who wants to change their body. They're like,
Mm.
give me the hardest. I was talking, one of my girlfriends is a nutritionist, and she works with a lot of high level, wealthy people. And what she says a lot of the times is like the wealthiest people will come and say, or like anybody, it doesn't matter what type of money that they make, but they'll come and say, like, I want the hardest diet. They think that, and she's like, it's not about the hardest diet. I'm not going to give you a diet. It's about following your intuition. And that they think in their minds that the more you restrict and the harder it is, the better of a person they are, the better they are at their diet, which is foolish, but we're also taught that. So restriction is not the way. And we know that because we're not happy, because we feel so undervalued, not seen. Feel so dimmed. Restriction is not going to give you more of that, but pleasure does. When you
Yeah.
start filling your cup up and you start feeling confident and the your cheeks, the color comes back to your cheeks again, and people are like, what are you doing? Like, what has been going on? You're glowing.
Yeah.
That comes from pleasure. That comes from a woman recognizing her power and not dimming and restricting and sacrificing. Overworked women do not heal this world.
No.
Overstressed women do not heal this world. It doesn't heal us as like for our children, for our friends, for our partners, like even for our employers, employees. We have to be resourced women, and we do that through the pleasure work.
Mm. 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 Yes, I totally agree. And it's beautiful to listen to you how you're explaining it because yes, that have been my biggest fall, I think, to change that view of how we are worthy. I think I was in for many, many years ago when I stepped into to the healing of myself. That was I was totally punishing myself for everything, and I thought that that way was going to someday get me to feel loved or to be loved. And but my body was totally shutting down, and I started to go to doctor, and they gave me a appointment to a massage therapist, and she was just touching me. She was not going to massage me, but just touching me, stroking me with light touch. And when she put her hands on my body, I was just starting to cry, and I just said, "You have to take them off me." And she did that, and we slowly she started to touch my body for longer and longer time, and tears were just running from me, and it was hard because that was hard to come back to me and to feel something that was feeling good. I was so scared. I was so scared. And it was a portal into my soul through my body and through that pleasure. And when the year has gone, I have expanded that pleasure to much more. But I feel that so many women are afraid of it too.
Mhm.
And of course, if we look at our history, it has been dangerous to reconnect to our pleasure. So,
Absolutely. It's one of the most taboo, scary things to connect back to because of safety. But unfortunately, and we've seen this too, whether a woman is disconnected from her pleasure or she's connected to it, doesn't make you more susceptible to danger.
No, no.
And I have always felt like the more I'm connected to my pleasure, the more I'm connected to my intuition and the more protected I feel because I can sense and not saying that, the danger that women experience is their fault at all, but I just know, hey, don't go down that path. Turn around right now. There's something I'm so connected to something deep down inside of me that's guiding me that I feel more protected. I feel more connected to safety being expressed in my pleasure. But you're so right about that. Like, what a beautiful experience you had with that woman, with, that touch and just letting her like bring you back, kind of like melt. I got this like vision of you just like melting this like ice cube around your body and just like softening into the pleasure.
Yes. Yes, that was how it was.
Mhm.
And also what you were saying now that it gives us back our intuition too. And I
Mhm.
was having a masterclass last week that was um, the name was receive him to receive your man's masculine gift. And I was feeling the fear in the feminine too of receiving him because that's also nearly the same thing. The fear of receiving him because maybe he's hurting me. But
Mhm.
if we are open, then we can mm, feel what is right and what is wrong
Yeah.
easier if we are open and receiving him. But if we are
Mhm.
closed, we don't really feel anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're so right. It's like most people live in an emotional range like this big, where it's like, I feel good and then I feel bad, but like I never feel amazing and blissful and freedom and pleasure and liberation that you can experience with pleasure work because they're afraid to experience the opposite, which is like the shame, the pain, the years of being ashamed we've built up in our body. And I will say, like, going through a feminine awakening, there were a lot of tears. There was a lot of grief that moved. There was a lot of unexplainable emotion, like thinking, like, am I crazy for just like every day I'm crying, but like I'm processing so much. I've never felt so connected. And
Mm.
then as I kind of like allowed myself to feel again, I was feeling so much more on this other side with like bliss I've never felt before and pleasure like I've never felt before and being seen like I've never felt before. And it's the most magical thing, but we have to be willing to hold both sides. And I think that that's where a lot of us just maybe need that reminder of like when you do start to experience feminine and pleasure work, you're gonna expand both ways, just like meeting your dream man, like the man you've been calling in, the man you've been wanting. Like, yes, you're going to feel so much love, but you're also going to feel those years that you've built up walls around your heart and the years you felt like, I can't trust him. Um, I can't feel at ease. I can't receive this. Like, those are walls that are falling down for you to feel more love. And it's so magical when you can do that work and like really go into it because it's almost like it's the messy work, but it's like the sexy, fun, messy work where there's like a turn on in it. Cause it's like, yes, you're like grieving and you're sad or you're just like releasing, but it feels like, oh, I'm doing this with intention and with purpose so I can feel more. Life is going to do that to us anyway. So might as well take control of it and like do it with intention.
Yes, I totally agree. And I also say often to the women that I work with to be open and naked. And I don't mean naked, even if that's beautiful and wonderful and also a liberation in the path of reconnecting to our feminine, the inner goddess. But naked energetically. And as you said, it's, of course, you feel everything much more, but it's it's more fun. And it's you feel more alive in the state of nakedness too.
Yeah. You're just unleashing those chains that we've put on ourselves of like the shoulds, the should nots, the bad, the good, the ugly, the shame, the fear. Like we're just like letting go of all of that to find our deeper essence. And that is the gift. That is like where our power lies.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I could sit here with you for a long time, but
I
I think we're
know,
going
I feel the same.
to wrap this up. And I just want you to share with the listeners and me too, what is going on in your business and in now in the future. I saw you were putting out some new good things.
Yeah, yeah. You know, my intention really going forward in my work is to get really, really connected to the essence, the feminine, the inner goddess. And, you know, I had this awakening this year where I've put my energy in so many different places and I have expressed my brand in all different ways. And I think that's so magical because there's so many different parts of why people come to me. Some people think that they come to me because they want to make more money. And some people come to me because they think that they want to build a life of luxury. And some people come to me because they want the man of their dreams. But why women actually come to me is because they want to feel that inner goddess, because they want to unleash their feminine energy. And it has nothing to do with the things that they tell me. Nothing. And once they access this power, a lot of times the things that they've been waiting for forever just come with ease and they're not trying. And it doesn't, you know, the money doesn't matter to me. If somebody comes to me and they're like, you helped me make $100,000, I don't know that I would be super happy about that. Is that all I did? Make money? Like you can go to a job and make $100,000. But when people come to me and they're like, I feel so seen in my life more than ever before. I walk into a room and like I can feel again. I can feel love. I'm so present. I'm so alive. I I'm confident for the first time. And I'm making money doing it too. Like that is the magic to me. So I think going forward in my brand, you're going to see a lot more of like the inner feminine work and it being expressed deeply in that way. And not to say that like I won't ever talk about like success and money and business because that's who I am, right? It's like I love that piece, but there's going to be so much more, I think, feminine in mixed in again to my work that was never like lost in my work, but maybe I didn't feel was being represented in the outside of my brand enough. So I feel a lot of that coming forward in my work, long thing to say.
Yeah.
But I'm just opening up a new mastermind called Essence, and it's all just about like feminine awakening and coming back inward and releasing the noise. And I'm excited for that. It's a smaller mastermind, you know, smaller commitment, but not a space to teach, not a space for tools. It's a space to uncover. It's a space to come in and just deepen and exhale. And that's, you know, the next thing I'm going to be working on. But yeah, I have, you know, private coaching, my higher end masterminds, often successful, and then courses and things that I teach in. But my next thing is Essence, and I'm really excited for that.
Yes. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I highly recommend to and watch everything, all the links. I can put them under this with you too, so they can easily get access to them. Yes, and
Amazing.
yeah, and you also have this Facebook group where I hang out
Yes.
and watching you. Yes.
Yes. The powder room. It's just a
Yeah.
space for women to come in, and I do free master classes usually in there, free like live streams sometimes, but general or genuinely it's a space for feminine women to just come in and like just plug in somewhere in this crazy world where they can just be in their softness and be in their heart and be in their feminine energy.
Yes, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
And you also have Instagram. Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Instagram, it's Emily Diaries XO, and I just share all my life stuff on there.
Beautiful. So I will, as I said, put all the links under this video so the listeners can go and check out more about you. Is there
Amazing.
something else that you want to share?
No, I don't think so, but thank you so much for having me and for this beautiful conversation.
Yeah. Maybe I invite you one more time.
Perfect. That would be so fun.
So thank you for today.
Of course, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for listening. If this was touching you, please feel free to share. And to find out more, check out the links below.